Here's your daily Premier League news and transfer window roundup with me, Harry Scarfe, football content creator and YouTuber. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much, Chris Callan, for this opportunity, and like and subscribe if you're new. So if you are unfamiliar with how it works, first part of the video will be your headlines, Premier League headlines the last 24 hours. Second part of the video will be dissecting them as I give my opinion. Let's get straight into it. Firstly, Leeds United have signed defensive midfielder Anton Stack, should I say. They announced it from Hoffenheim. Sky Sports News report that the deal is worth £17.4 million plus add-ons. Brighton have confirmed that Nikita Paris has left the club as a free agent. Sky Sports News report that Sunderland are close to agreeing a deal with Bayer Leverkusen for the signing of midfielder and former Arsenal midfielder as well, Granit Xhaka. Sky Sports News reports that Christian Monstraka is joining up with the Arsenal squad in Singapore for their pre-season tour ahead of the announcement of his transfer from Valencia. Next, Sky Sports News report that Harry Maguire is not included in Manchester United's squad for the pre-season tour in the USA due to personal reasons, but he could join at a later stage. Matheus Cunha, Brahim Mbamo are also included alongside injured pair Lissandro Martinez and goalkeeper Andre Onana. The Court of Arabasham for Sport has confirmed that Crystal Palace have appealed against the decision to demote them from the Europa League and now will be playing in the Conference League. A decision is expected to be made by August the 11th. Sky Sports News report that Brentford have rejected a £25 million bid from Newcastle for striker Johan Wissa. Wissa has told Brentford he's keen to explore a move to Newcastle and has returned to the UK for their pre-season training camp that talks to the club's hierarchy over his future. Wissa's uncertainty of his future has sent him as he's struggling to deal with, basically. David Alstein reports that Granit Xhaka informs Bayer Leverkusen he only wants to join Sunderland as club-to-club talks continue. Agreement is now in place between the 32-year-old and Sunderland. Bayer Leverkusen have been asked by Switzerland midfielder Xhaka to close the deal rapidly, and negotiations are ongoing and moving fast. Fabrizio Romano reports that Wolves have offered €15 million plus add-ons and a sell-on clause for Marc Pubil. Wolves hope to get the deal done in the next hours to anticipate other clubs. Fabrizio Romano reports that Ilai Sabani of Bournemouth wants PSG, and Paris Saint-Germain are set to improve their bid. The verbal agreement has been reached with Sabani in June, and PSG are set to approach Bournemouth again. No active talks with Tottenham so far, despite reports. Fabrizio Romano reports that Atletico Madrid and Chelsea start club-to-club talks today for Ronald Vega. Ronald Vega said yes to Atletico Madrid, and the first bid will follow, where Chelsea will insist on a €40 million package in total still. Fabrizio Romano reports that Hugo Ekitike and his agent Karma Waka flew to Merseyside as the French striker is set to start his medical at Liverpool. 6-year contract set to be signed soon. Khalid Wiley leaves Chelsea to rejoin Watford on loan until June 2026. Fabrizio Romano reports that Marcus Rashford has signed his contract as new Barcelona player. Announcement is pending. Fabrizio Romano reports latest update on Marc Pubil, and that is that Atletico Madrid have hijacked the Marc Pubil deal, and an agreement has been reached with Wolves. Here we go. Interesting. Atletico closed the deal this afternoon, taking him off Wolves after first negotiations with Almeria, and all documents are signed. It's a 5-year contract for Pubil. Interesting stuff. Atletico Madrid have hijacked the Wolves deal. There's a lot going on here with the Marc Pubil deal. Fabrizio Romano reports that Brighton's Paris Estepinian will travel to Italy this week to sign a 5-year deal as a new AC Milan player. The deal's been done since Monday. Fabrizio Romano reports that Hugo Ekitike has completed the main part of his medical as new Liverpool player, and a 6-year contract is awaiting him. Fabrizio Romano reports that Napoli have sent a new formal bid for Dan Nadai to Bologna, worth €9 million loan fee and a €26 million obligation to buy, plus €5 million in add-ons. Nottingham Forest have already offered €30 million fee after Nadai agreed personal terms with Nottingham Forest, which is the priority for him, last week. Fabrizio Romano reports that Victor Gyökeres to Arsenal. Here we go. Verbal agreement in place between all parties involved. Sporting accept last bid from Arsenal for 63.5 million euros plus 10 million euros. The agent will reduce his commission. Gyökeres will sign a 5-year deal at Arsenal until 2030. He only ever wanted Arsenal. Next, the report from, let's find it again to get it right. Yeah, news shopper Bobby Muncey is the journalist, and that is that Crystal Palace have no intention of negotiating below Eberechi Eze's release clause despite interest from Arsenal. The valuation is firm with a clear payment structure, and the club are unlikely to compromise. Eze, who's 27, is under contract at Crystal Palace until 2027, and Aston Villa have confirmed that Louis Barry has joined Sheffield United on a season-long loan. Quite a few there. But there are your headlines in the Premier League in the last 24 hours. Let's go through and discuss them and dissect them and give my opinion. Firstly, Leeds getting the moves done in the transfer window. Not long ago, was it Longstaff from Newcastle after several bids and several rounds of negotiations. Anton Stack, don't know a lot about him. I've had his name come up before from Hoffenheim. I do know that he is more capable of scoring goals. He's got a magical left foot. But it's quite a big deal, and I know he's done well for Hoffenheim, so I think that's a good signing for them. Huge about Sunderland, which looks like they're about to sign Granit Xhaka. That's massive. I mean, Xhaka, former Arsenal player, obviously we know how that ended, and obviously captain's armband taken off him, etc., etc. But that's a big signing for Sunderland, and he seems like he really wants to move as well. So it looks like he'll be going ahead. But however, with Sunderland, they've had one or two, haven't they, that has fallen through at the last minute recently. So we'll have to see if they can get this one done and wrapped up with. Christian Monstraka, yeah, he looks like they're going to do an announcement on pre-season. Arsenal look really scary next year. Arteta still wants more, though. He's made that clear. Maguire not included in the pre-season tour. Maybe it's just not good enough, or they plan to sell him, but apparently personal reasons is the case. I mean, on the Crystal Palace thing, I think any decent fan of a decent club, unless, of course, you're Brighton or you have a agenda, I suppose, or bad feeling towards Palace. I think we all want Palace to be back in Europa League, because clearly the two ownership rule is wrong, because in this case it doesn't affect Palace. I know they have to follow laws on that, but it's crazy, and Palace don't benefit from this at all. So for me, I think they should be back in the Europa League. They've worked hard. They should punish. They're going to punish anyone. Should be the guy that is owns both Lyon and Palace on that board, rather than the supporters of Palace who have waited a long time for this, to win that trophy, to get in to the Europa League. I know this would be in the Conference League, but it doesn't feel right that Forest gain at their expense either. Nobody likes Tottenham Forest at the moment. I certainly don't, as a Spurs fan. Interested about West Ham in £25 million bid. That's a little bit insulting. I think Brentford will try and hold out for at least, well, I reckon they'd want, in an ideal world, 50-55, but I think his age and the fact that he probably will want to leave, because he says he's unsettled by uncertainty over his future, so that's why he's returned. They'll let him return. I think they'll probably end up giving in about 45 rather than 50-55, but I could be completely wrong. Mark Pabil, it's interesting. So Wolves hope to get it done, but looks like Atletico have hijacked that. I think they'll get it right. So very confusing, but looks like he's no longer going to Wolves, which could lose Wolves in a difficult situation. So Barney, surely he's got to leave Bournemouth for that kind of money that we're talking about, huge amounts, that reported like 70 million. So it's a huge amount of money for someone that not many people would have heard of. No disrespect to Zabani, but there are other centre-backs that people would have heard of more. Mark Gahey, etc. Just thinking about the Premier League. I'm really interested in the Ronald Vega story between Atletico and Chelsea. It's really interesting. I don't know how Chelsea fans say it. I think Chelsea fans will probably accept 40 million euros. I think they'd rather keep Ronald Vega. They probably like him, but 40 million euros, if they can get that, I can understand why they hold out for that, but I think it'd be really good if they can get that. Yeah, Hugo CK just waiting for that announcement. Yeah, we've got Callum Wisey joined Watford. Marcus Rashford, big move for him. I've said before in previous videos on this channel. I think it makes so much sense from a Manchester United point of view to have all these wage covered. The only thing is, I believe it's an option to buy rather than an obligation, so that favours Barcelona if it doesn't work out. Rashford, it makes sense as well. Very big move for him, and I wish him all the best there. So we'll see how it gets on. Paris Estepinian, big move for AC Milan. They do make some silly signings, if you ask me. AC Milan, Emerson Royale, now Paris Estepinian. Some very average, doesn't feel nice, but yeah, there are better options out there within the Premier League. Put it that way. I think that'd be fair to say. But hey ho, looks like Nottingham Forest going to end up with a die, so they are splashing the cash, maybe preparing for a Morgan Gibbs White replacement. Looks like Gyökeres, that's finally got it done. It's taken a long while. Arsenal not giving in, Sporting not giving in. In the end, the agent has decided to reduce his commission. That's taken an awfully long while. I think the add-ons took forever. In the end, I think Sporting can't turn down that type of money. And for Arsenal, it's a no-brainer either, really. If you think about it, they need a striker. You don't get them a lot where it benefits both. Time will tell whether it works out or not, because Grocco has absolutely ripped it up at Sporting, but the level of opponents are a lot different. I think if you go right down in their league that Sporting are in Portugal, they're probably equivalent to upper League One, lower Championship here. So just to give you, context, Grocco scoring 40, 50, whatever he scored goals is insane, but there is a little bit of context to it. Eze, no surprise that Palace would want to keep Eze and would want to hold out for his release goals. He's probably worth that, not far off it. So those are your headlines, and those are my opinions. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Chris Cullen, for this opportunity. If you can support me and my work as well individually, that'd be fantastic. If you can follow me at HarryScarfe32 across social media. I'm a football content creator, YouTuber, a football writer, also an advocate for autism and disabilities away from the football side of things. But I also have my own YouTube channel, Tottenham YouTube channel and Premier League YouTube channel. It's called Harry Scarfe, and also has my own podcast within it called the Scarfe Spurs podcast. If you can check that out, it'd be amazing. But again, thanks for watching. Again, thank you, Chris Cullen, for this opportunity. Please make sure to like and subscribe. I'm a proud regular here at Chris Cullen's channel.